met none other than Siddharam Kesari at that time. We met people like the Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi, Swami Agnivesh. All these people came together. There were almost 400 NGOs in that particular tour. So I was the Secretary General for that for 2 years also. Okay. Among the street children and things like that, we did a project known as Chacha Ka Mela. That was on November 14. Chacha is none other than, we know that. That particular name also came from the children themselves. So in one Chacha Ka Mela, around 4,000 to 8,000. When I left, it was 8,000 children will come on one day, and it was a big carnival kind of a thing. Wow. Food, masti, maja, celebrities, and they also laughed. First celebrity who gave me 1 lakh of rupees is none other than Jackie Shroff.
Oh, wow. He's a very magnanimous person.
So
he's a fantastic.
Brilliant. So met Jackie, he brought Anil Kapoor, and then the girls of that time, Shilpa Shirodkar, and then Padmini Kolhapure, the other Poonam Dhillon. So that created a lot of awareness creation across the country. So there is a coterie, there is a mafia which is out there, and that's why even Habitat did not go too deeper into that. But there was another organization known as Spark. Spark was doing that, and through Spark there was a Magsaysay award winner known as Joachim Arpuda. He's now no more. He was the kind of the hero out there, and he started the Slum Developers Foundation and Forum.
In a world chasing virality, तो ये हम लोग तो यही करते हैं दिन भर. आज तो मेरी हर चीज वायरल है, पूरी वायरल है सर.
कोविड भी वायरल था.
हाँ, लाइक्स नहीं थे लेकिन उसको सारे डिसलाइक्स थे. डिसलाइक्स वाली वायरलिटी.
How have you helped them find a grounding footing in dignity? You worked on that.
So नमस्ते और आपका स्वागत है. मैं भारत हूँ मैं. Today as a 26-year-old voice of young Bharat, full of curiosity, purpose, and equal amount of restlessness, I am honored to introduce someone whose life reads like a living case in impact, global experience, and undying belief in community value creation. The legend that we are meeting, Joseph Scaria Jr., is not just a leader. He is a legacy in motion. With over 3 decades of experience spanning the corporate world, global nonprofits, and sustainable ventures from habitat to humanity, and SustainABuild, from the streets of South Asia to forums across 40 plus countries, he's been shaping the why behind every what. He believes in stories that create systems, and he's helped raise millions for causes that really just matter. The Bharat we inherit. For those of us in our 20s, stepping into leadership and navigating life's chaos, Mr. Scaria is a compass. His work in climate evangelism, women empowerment, child rights, and community entrepreneurship challenges us every inch of this life. Can we use our skills not just to build apps, but to build people? Not just raise funding, but raise futures. And this moment that we are in, at a time when many are disillusioned, his journey reminds us of the power of intent backed by action, of choosing mission over noise and impact over impression. Today, let's go beyond his LinkedIn and his professional life and discover the soul behind the CV. So, Mr. Scaria, on behalf of Young Bharat, thank you for walking the road less taken, for proving that even in boardrooms and grassroots, the heart can lead. Your story isn't just inspiring, it's a blueprint for a generation that wants to do more than just scroll. You reminded us what it means to build for purpose. So let's hope many in their 20s are listening today that this is not just a talk, but a turning point. तो आपने जीवन से ये दिखाया कि असली लीडर वही है जो सिर्फ सपने नहीं देखते, सपनों में औरों को जगाते भी हैं. तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और तहे दिल से आपका स्वागत हम दोनों की तरफ से और पूरे मैं भारत हो की टीम से. एंड विद दैट आई पास ऑन द बैटन टू अमन उपल.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So, मुझे एक wonderful introduction, but because the audience doesn't know what you've been doing all your life.
Thank you.
How about आप बताएं from your perspective things that have shaped you, touched you, your thinking. इतने बड़े करियर में कुछ चीजें होती हैं जो which matter more for somebody, which matter to you even today.
Yeah.
From that perspective, please introduce the audience and us also a little more to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. First and foremost, thanks to both of you. Talking about legends and legacy out there, I wish you all the best to make this as a legacy and inspire more youngsters.
Thank you.
Who are the future of Main Bharat Hoon. Maybe Bharat Hoon, like they are the upcoming Bharat Hoon. So that's a brilliant initiative, and congratulations to
Thank
both
you,
of
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Now, you talk about turning points and what has inspired you, what is the kind of jadka, what you got in life to think differently.
Yeah, and you've done so much. So a
Thank
little about that also.
Thank you very much on that. Yeah, it's a normal boy who study, who graduates. Your parents wanted you to be on your, self-sustainable, self-dependent. And yeah, I grew up like that and went. In that milieu, a lot of challenges happens in college. It was also a good, not a very good, I was also a bully, okay, in college. We love it for various reasons.
We do love it.
And even today's students also do. Even my son does it like, so it's okay. It's also part of learning. But it helped me when I come into a sort of a tipping point kind of an approach, I went for my job. My dad was in Calcutta. And then
you are from Kerala. Sorry,
I'm from Kerala. My dad was always working in the northeastern belt. He always says that he was an electrical engineer. So he always, when he's in a little tipsy, he always says that just like in God gave light to the world. So when my dad is a little tipsy, he also says that I am also equivalent to God. What is that? I gave light to Assam. Because he was an electrical engineer, just adding a little fun to that. But that's the reason that I went to Calcutta and I started my career with the Birla Group.
Okay.
So that was in sales and marketing. Allows that because it allows you to travel around and see around the country. That's also another way of seeing the country while doing the business.
Absolutely.
So I can say that, it's sort of a business with a vacation kind of thing. It's only how you deal and do it like that. So which helped me to see the northeastern belt, the Calcutta and the Odeon, Orissa and that kind of a belt. So I loved traveling. But also the thing was that then I got into a job after the Birlas in Mumbai with a foreign company known as Tractel, which were an Anglo-French company.
Okay.
And which allowed me for my first exposure to the foreign lands that was in Luxembourg. Naturally, at that particular age, today's students go all the way, even if they don't have money in their family, they will go all the way to study.
Yeah.
UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere out there. For various reasons. Some are good in studies, some are for, I wanted to see the world out there. Nothing to complain about that. That is a sort of a brain drain, we can say that.
Okay.
But that is also with the kind of a Bharat which is coming up, we also have to be thinking in terms of the brain gain, which we can touch upon later. But about me, then when I got the job, I think that, Europe, but it did not attract me that much. Of course, the lifestyle is good and things like that, but always there was something that I wanted to be here because even while I was a student, I was an activist.
Okay.
With an organization known as KSSP. That is the Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad.
Wow.
In fact, I did not know the value addition of KSSP. To be very sincere, as a student, I never knew it.
Okay.
But they were fighting against Silent Valley. The first kind of the fight to keep the Silent Valley intact because the entire Silent Valley was a rainforest. And the rainforest wanted to be destroyed by the people who wanted to make paper and stuff like that. I'm not getting deeper into that. But it was the KSSP literally inspired the entire student population of Kerala, a little bit of Tamil Nadu, the Coimbatore belt also. For us, this is marketing. you're in marketing. So, okay, sorry, you're in marketing.
That's the last sin I've committed.
No, it's okay, Harsh, it's okay. But the marketing with which they done, we call it activism, we call it advocacy, we call it awareness building or whatever it is like that. But they did so well on that. The beauty is that what is needed for the student is being given by the KSSP. Now, what is needed at that time was holidays. So we will take up these issues of fighting for silent Wari. And that means after the fighting is over, the college is closed.
Yes.
So we can go for our movies and, हमारा अड्डे में जा सकते हैं, किधर भी जा सकते हैं. So that was the kind of inspiration for at least 70 to 80% of the students.
Yes.
The 20%, not the tailenders, the 20% of that brainies and intelligent people who are with the KSSP. So that experience was there with me always. Why I'm telling that, once even I got the opportunity in working for the Tractel, that Anglo-French company, it also took me on the western coast of India very well.
Okay.
So you call it Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Goa, okay, Gujarat. So you get all those kind. But the life was good, but you're a salesman.
Right.
You're a salesman and you're selling tangible things out there. And I was not bad at that, good. But it's sort of a monotony. Go sell, then in the evening, the usual addas and whatever goes with an young generation out there. I can say that directly. What is it like? Goa means, evening. Yeah. So I don't have to. But it just was getting into me. What am I doing?
Okay.
इसमें कुछ purpose है क्या? Because you get your salary. वो salary वो age में किधर भी जा सकते ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा there is no saving. And family was also not asking so much of money. So that means, आज का ज़माने भी वही है. The IT kids are the same thing. Because they have seen salaries which even their fathers or who are seen at the age of 45, they are getting at 21, 22, 23. So क्या करने का है? Of course, some investment bankers are coming these days, and thanks for them because it adds more to the value of building the nation. So that's good. So that is what you're talking, the turning point of things like that. I did not find much value, in terms of taking it forward. That was something like that. Coupled with my Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad, and then I have seen life in Mumbai on the streets with children on the pavements and things like that. It was sort of influencing me to be seeing that I needed to do something different. So anyway, I got an opportunity to be associated with UNICEF.
Okay.
So that's what So this is good. And UNICEF, that was a contractual job in terms of taking the children on the street, the working children, and seeing that we must give some respect to them and help build their life. So I got contracted, and my job was to really bring together all the non-governmental organizations together onto one platform and see that how well as a bundled approach we can build more strength into the lives of these people who were not even recognized by the welfare schemes of the government.
Right.
So that particular project we called in Mumbai, it was known as CCVC, Coordination Committee for Vulnerable Children.
Okay.
So I started with inspiring 9 NGOs. There are a lot of other leaders also involved there. I should not be taking the credit of that. People like, that I will come. So that took me on inspiring more people, and I ran it for 7 years. And within that 7 years, almost 45 NGOs in Mumbai were part of that group. Then we could really create another forum, National NGO Forum for Street and Working Children, we called it. That was for all over the country. There are also a lot of NGO leaders were there. And that helped, that 7 years awareness and advocacy campaign created, where we went and met none other than Sidaram Kesari at that time. We met people like the Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi,
Okay.
and then Swami Aknivesh. All these people came together. There were almost 400 NGOs in that particular group. So I was the Secretary General for that for 2 years also.
Okay.
I mean, it keeps on changing. But then these were all the kind of a learning I got it. And that is where I could also use my, sorry, so my skills in sales and marketing,
Oh, okay.
my creativity out there, engaging, thank you, Harsh, engaging people. That's where I met my first, I must say, my first celebrity I met was none other than Changi Pandey.
Okay.
So I started using, because, among the street children and things like that, we did a project known as Chacha Ka Mela.
Okay.
That was on November 14th. Now, Chacha is none other than, we know that. So that particular name also came from the children themselves. So in one Chacha Ka Mela, almost 4,000 to 8,000. When I left, it was 8,000 children will come on one day, and it was a big carnival kind of a thing. Wow. Food, masti, maja, celebrities, and they also love. So, then I touched upon most of the celebrities out there. At that time, I loved it, meeting all these people and getting money. The first celebrity who gave me 1 lakh of rupees is none other than Jackie Shroff.
Oh,
Wow.
He's a very magnanimous
He's
person.
so
He's a fantastic
brilliant.
person.
So met Jackie, he brought Anil Kapoor, and then the girls of that time, Shilpa Shirodkar, and then Padmini Kolhapure, the other Poonam Dhillon, lots of people. They wanted to come, and so that created a lot of awareness creation across the country. With all this kind of, which we have took it to Siddharam Kesari, and we got to make the story short, we got the street and vulnerable children with the pressure and advocacy of 400 NGOs in this country to have a special scheme for street and working children. So all the NGOs will get around 45 lakhs at that time to take care of around 40 to 50 boys and girls together. So that is one among the biggest success, which I loved it. And then I used those skills in terms of, then I left UNICEF, and then I ran my own, I got the bug of running my company. And then I got into basically focusing on development projects only, but I brought in the social entrepreneurship to that.
Okay, I have few things to ask.
Please.
And children is such a wonderful thing to be engaged with. It's also very close to my heart. That we'll discuss off camera.
Sure.
But there are few things that I noticed when I was reading about you. I will just list them, and then I will ask you some ideas about this. Social enterprise development, child welfare, women empowerment, rural development, housing, healthcare. I'm going to touch upon that. Housing and community development. I have a question regards that with my own experience.
Yeah.
I had visited Europe. I was in London.
Yeah.
And it was pointed out to me that underprivileged housing there exists in the area.
Yeah.
Underprivileged housing there exists in areas where probably the most affluent people stay.
Yes.
And the housing is decided, allotted by the government to the underprivileged in terms of whose needs are more with children, how much space would the children need.
Yeah.
The more their needs, lesser the capability will give them that much more dignified housing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Juxtaposed to that, I saw in Mumbai. Now, in Mumbai, earlier SRA developments used to happen in isolated corners.
Yes.
There's a policy change, which is a very positive policy change, that if this is a cluster that will be redeveloped, so people of this cluster might be given one entire building in this area, and then there'll be the rest of the development around, which is very good in thought.
Yeah.
But in practicality, the housing is not dignified.
In the slum areas, the
SRA housing, even in the midst of all the rest of the people, the quality of housing, is it allowing them to feel dignified? No. Do the people around not want them because a house has been given, but they haven't been able to uplift themselves out of the mindset? So it is not serving that purpose as it should be able to.
Mhm.
How much is it even possible to do that? If yes, how? And what can be our outlook towards housing the underprivileged? There is, in the public domain, there is an outlook, which is slightly capitalist in nature.
Yeah.
I don't want to comment on that right now. First, let's understand the challenges from you and what practically could be done to truly, in their thought, uplift them along with housing.
Dharavi, I was the director for Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
So we have not done much work in Dharavi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I have experience which I can share.
Mm.
We've been more into rural housing,
Okay.
but we have done housing in the slum area in other countries like Philippines, in Thailand, in Poland, Mexico, etc. That experience I can say. So it's just not an answer from India only.
Okay.
So if you look at the slum housing, see there is also, it's like blunt, that's controlled by certain kind of coteries and mafia out there.
Absolutely.
So that is existing even in Dharavi or Mangurd or any of those places. It is
Anywhere
in other
the
places
world,
also.
at least the developing world.
So what happens is that there is, you must have heard of, no, that I will come later. So this particular coterie controls that. And that control means I must be owner of at least some 5 to 10 to 20,
Percentage of those houses, yeah.
shacks.
Shacks.
If I'm a slumlord, I own that
Mm.
by my muscle. Flex. Harsh told about flex it like. By my flexing the muscles, I own it. Yeah, here it is. So that means it's a perennial income for me. Then I give it on bhade, on renter. After some time, if I feel that, if that particular place is, there was something known as photo pass. Where the photo pass.
Pass.
PASS, PASS.
PSS, pass.
Photo pass.
Pass.
My photo is affixed to that pass, and that is being given by the government
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
And that's why the entire origin of the SRA and all comes from that photo pass, because that's nothing but it originates through your own tenancy out there.
Okay.
So if I'm on the tenant out there, whether I was bhade pay, whatever it is like that, I'm eligible to get a photo pass. That means I'm eligible to be, because of my tenancy right out there, I'm eligible to get a particular 240 square feet house out there. And that's why all this slum development happens under the SRA, Slum Rehabilitation Society, Authority. Yeah. So that's what. So there is a coterie, there is a mafia which is out there. And that's why even Habitat did not go too deeper into that. But there was another organization known as Spark.
Okay.
Spark was doing that. And through Spark, there was an Magsaysay Award winner known as Joachim Arpuda. He's now no more. He was the kind of the hero out there. And he started the Slum Developers Foundation and Forum.
Okay.
Which he took all over the world. And it was headquartered in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, they could get in out there, and they could influence the policy formulators of the housing authorities and things like that. And they did a fantastic job in terms of formulating this and making the case of this to the United Nations and other places where it matters, even in countries like India. So whether it was in Thailand or Philippines or Mexico or any of those countries, in Recife, in Brazil and these kind of places out there. So that's about that urban aspects of. Why? Yeah. To answer you, why it is not happening, because this kind of it is with that kind of a coterie clutch out there is there.
Still very strong.
Still it is very strong. Unless there is a movement which is happening out there, the Ravis couldn't be redeveloped through the corporate approach out there. The Ambanis tried and they failed. Now the Adanis are coming forward. Let us see what is happening out there. So there is so much of that kind of a socio-political, political mafia. Everything is out there.
Lot of complexity.
Lot of complexities out there.
As the world is complex, let's hold on to that thought, and we'll come back and discuss more. Is that okay?
And we'll see you back with sir, and we'll see you on the other side. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़े रहने के लिए. और 20 साल का मैं हर्षवर्धन, मैं भारत हूँ, और I am in this august company of the veteran actor Aman Uppal and Sir Joseph Scaria himself. I'm actually not of place. because I believe that I'm in an August company, not November, December, January. So nonetheless, I have a question, sir, out of my curiosity.
Please, sir.
Somebody like me in their 20s, right, looks at you from a distance and just has this as their first question, saying कि सर आपने सारी दुनिया देखी है, 40 देश, NGOs, boardrooms, हम तो अभी शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, तो हम आपको देख रहे हैं. बट भारत के नए यूथ के लिए एक सीधा सवाल है, उनकी तरफ से आपके लिए एक सीधा सवाल है. इन अ वर्ल्ड चेजिंग वायरलिटी, क्योंकि हम लोग तो यही करते हैं दिन भर, आज तो मेरी हर चीज वायरल है, पूरी वायरल है सर. और
कोविड भी वायरल था.
हाँ, लाइक्स नहीं थे लेकिन उसको सारे डिसलाइक्स थे. डिसलाइक्स वाली वायरलिटी तो कोविड की. तो सर, इन अ वर्ल्ड चेजिंग वायरलिटी, हाउ डू वी स्टे रूटेड? क्या हम लोग को नहीं समझ आ रहा है in our values?
Okay.
That's the youth of Bharat wanting to ask to you. In the world of virality, how do we stay rooted to our values?
Fantastic. Virality was not that kind of a virality in my age. It was a different vibe, different style. And the virality at that time could have been just, kaise ladki padana. Or how to be smart in front of them. Or how to ask them very politely or unpolite. Maybe politely. Most of the time it was polite. Would you like to join me for a movie? So that is the most polite, Today it's totally different. There are a lot of other things that also has inspired me to be working in the development sector, because today's virality, in between, sometimes people get into drugs and the drug effects and things like that. Asking someone is that impoliteness will come, then the acid bulbs comes and all these kind of things. I've seen all these kind of things. Even I must be really candid, and also to get virality at that time, maybe in my age in college, I must confess, and not what to confess there. I used to have been a ganja master also, what is there, but then I grew out of it. That could be something, you're asking me about my 20th. That was just taken because the influence comes from your own colleagues. Your own colleagues are your influences, inspirers. You never give a damn to your parents, because that comes after some time. Might be at the age of 35, 40 is the one we see the world and udhar kuch milte hai, idhar kuch milte hai. Some people abuses you, some people, gives you how to be disciplined and keep decorum. And that is a stages of growth out there. That's a moment, at 40 or, even someone says, life begins at really at 40. There are some quotes out there, and
It's true.
It's true, because till that time you have been driven by a lot of things. Basically, your colleagues. Your colleagues are your gurus and masters, and within that colleagues out there, there are bullies, there are thugs, there are the gurus, there are the ganjawala, there is the drugwala. What I meant is, so that's there. So looking back at my 20s, as you asked me about that, that is a free life. At 20s you don't bother for anything, because somehow or the other you know how to घर में जाके कुछ स्टोरी बहाना बनाने का, स्टोरी बनाने का, पैसे कैसे निकालने का, वो पॉकेट मनी है या हॉस्टल का मनी है या बुक्स का मनी है. I used to, even at that time, I used to do electronics.
Okay.
So in my electronics, I used to even go and tell I had a foster father. I was brought up by my foster father. उसको बोलने का, वो ट्रांसिस्टर खरीदने के पैसा लेने का, और पावर पैक के लिए पैसा लेने का, डायोड, ट्रायोड, इसको कुछ भी पता नहीं है. You know what I mean? And I used to really, because that money was for my cinema, booze, or whatever kind of a thing. So that was also style. How to make money out of your own unpaired, or not unpaired, who are illiterate about these things.
Yes.
They're literate, but they're illiterate about transistor. There is only one day when my father came and asked the warden about where is he. Oh, he has gone. He has told me that he's gone to another city to buy diodes and cathodes or whatever like that, transistors. No, we provide everything in the lab. That's the moment I got caught. That, you know, I mean, us didn't say cut, pocket money cut or extra money cut out there. So I think that's what the present generation also does out there. So I enjoyed that. But there was this kind of revelation which comes when I started my career in Calcutta. That's a revelation when you come, and I've suffered in my life also. Even I did not have, because there was no financial freedom. That is a moment you get hit. It's not that you're physically कोई थप्पड़ देते हैं ना, वो थप्पड़ तो वो भी अच्छा है, लेकिन कभी-कभी मिलना मांगते then only सुधर जाएगा. So this one, when I started, even I did not have money to have my favorite masala dosa. So I was living as a paying guest in one of my brother's house out there, and he was well off. But then he has been told that, you know, discipline him, like, you know, let him have some decorum and discipline. And I started making chapatis for him, because he was living alone. His family was in Kerala. And for each chapatis, I used to charge. And he was happy to give.
That's interesting.
Because, yeah, he was happy to give because he was training me. And he said that I am giving you for your labor. So that's the moment. Yeah, I mean, from there I grew up, Harsh. And then I started studying, you know, I did my MBA and, you know, kind of things like that. Then again, this call for doing something good came. I got the, you know, the last time I told you how I went to all those stories. From there, society, you know, I mean, got me opportunity from business to development all over the world, and get exposed to almost 70 countries. You know, I mean, sorry.
Please finish.
That gave me, again, oh, thank you, that question. You say, you know, I must say that wherever you go, that virality, you asked me about the virality. My virality was always there. I got opportunity to live in Europe. I got opportunity to be settling in the US. But I know somewhere, something was here. I am an Oriental man. I'm not an Occidental man. I used to be a kind of an Occidental influenced person when I was in college. But somehow the Indian way, like, you know, even I was associated with one of my friends to raise some funds for the CVV, that is a Chinmaya Vishwa Vidyalaya now in Kerala. That's the Indian way of education. I love that, you know, I mean, because it's odd, because I was also definitely and always, I used to be in the Juhu Hare Krishna land.
Okay.
I was a Chinmaya, you know, follower.
Okay.
I was a follower of Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Oh.
Yes, and I loved him because these are all people who give you knowledge.
Yeah.
And it just flows like that.
Yes.
It is not, you don't have to pay that, you know, I'm just getting into AI-driven knowledge out there. You know, first you pay. It's a trick out there. First you pay, 900 rupees ka, tumko 9 rupees mein deta hu. Okay. But there is a hidden agenda out there. The next session is for 25,000.
Yeah.
You know, and the next session is on like, which is okay. Which is also, we should be looking into that. Our Gurukula never thought knowledge giving, you got to be paying back. That's what, you know, we must be learning about the Indian stuff.
Yes, we will. And I think that is a matter for another podcast.
Yep.
That's a matter for another podcast. And I will want to discuss these with you, how we need to rethink our education system, how we need to rethink our economic system. But we'll come back to things that you are already working for and towards.
Yes.
Brashness of youth and virality you talked about, it's such an important thing. I think children are seeking to understand life with all kinds of experiences as we are growing. Before we've understood life, we want to understand what is right, wrong.
Yeah.
But there is a stage before that. There are some children who don't even get to experience the basics of life.
Yes.
Which is housing.
Yes.
Clean living.
Yes.
You've worked extensively in that.
Yep.
In the US, here, before I get into your clean energy initiatives and stuff like that, because so that children can experience their youth, how have you helped them find a grounding footing in dignity? You worked on that. Tell us more about that, please.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, you know, these opportunities with Habitat, for humanity, with which I worked for 22 to 23 years. That was my longest innings in that kind of a development, which took me to different parts of the world. I must say that, that organization is a fabulous example. And here in India, it is headed by Mrs. Rajeshri Birla.
Oh,
Yeah, she's the chairperson for that organization. There are a lot of other stalwarts out there. Sanjay Nair from, KKR, now he's on. It's a NICA. And a lot of other, Asit Koticha, a lot of other beautiful names, around 11 of them. I used to have that kind of a, what you call, blessings to be working with them and inspiring them. Like, there is a project with Habitat runs is to inspire the youth. They call it the Global Village.
okay.
Now, around the world, they are present in almost 3,000 plus universities and schools and colleges out there. So that particular program is known as the Global Village Program. We go there and inspire the leaders, the youth out there. It's voluntary. You can form your own group out there. Maybe, we are all students out there. You take the leadership out there. Okay, then you inspire in Harsh. Then Harsh inspires me, and then we form a group of 20 or 25 people. We position that entire project as a leadership development.
Very important aspect of leadership.
Leadership development.
Yes.
Because you're taking the leadership, you're transferring that to him and he to me.
Correct.
That itself is inspirational leadership out there.
Even decentralized leadership is very important.
Yes. And also within that milieu of 20 people coming together out there, you're also becoming your own personality development. It's just not leadership.
Yes.
You are extremely selfish out there because you're working, it is your own choice. No one comes and gives you a bhashan out there.
Yeah.
No Harvard class or IIM class or nothing of that sort. You are doing it's hands-on. Okay. We will only give them the guideline. Okay. A team of 20 people raise this much money for building one house.
Okay.
Then you also find the money to choose your destination. It could be within India or it could be another country.
Okay.
So we used to send, basically it's an American, American students and European students travel to all the emerging markets out there. But we replicated. From India, people go to Sri Lanka. From Thailand, people come to India. From Japan, people come to India. So it's beautiful for leadership development, personality development. Then it's also financial management.
Yes.
It's also managing behavioral management.
Convergence of cultures and understanding.
Absolutely. And when they come, the Japanese students outcome, they might also be coming through JICA.
Yeah.
That Japanese International Cooperation Agency. They also give. And they come with another, it's a buddy system. Okay, you're Japanese, you come out here. I also feel very happy. Oh, that I'm going to be in, company with Ahmed. It's just like the older days, my days, it was pen pal system.
Yeah.
Here, it's the, that pen palism comes out here in action out here.
Yeah.
Earlier it was through, people, I used to have a girlfriend in Germany. I still remember that because my sister was there. Recently, I went and met her. I said, at the age of, she was 58 or something, and we used to have some real fun out there talking about. But I was a hero. That's also another style statement. You are 20 years old, I'm going to my 20 years. Joseph Scaria writing to Barbara in Germany only through this thing. But I recently went out there. I could meet her because my sister introduced her. वो तो बुढ़ी होगी.
आप भी बुढ़े
So that's something, those kind of memories when you become the 20-year-old out there. But this gives them this particular global village kind of leadership, personality development, financial management, initiative. If your shyness goes away, your stage fright goes away. Because if Harsh might say that, Joseph, you should do this. So it's just like a fatwa. Because he would be some role out there because you are the chairman and he would be the no, this is assigned to you.
Execute it.
I do not know anything about that. Now I'm left in the labyrinth. I have to do that. But because of the group pressure out there, I have to do it. Otherwise, mujhe gaali dega.
I will bring to you something that you did. I will remind you because हमने break में बात करी थी और आप उस पे बारे में बताइए. You said you built 100 houses in
In Lonavala.
Something in a very short span.
That's right, sir.
and you were working with the Jimmy Carter Foundation. The
Jimmy Carter was the most popular promoter of Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
And he started that in 1984 for Habitat for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And he built the brand of Habitat for Humanity. Sir, your brand book is dead. You say that nobody cares about your brand. But we connected the branding out there, Harshji.
We care about your brand.
Thank you. okay. So that was just like, it was known as the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Work Project.
Mm-hmm.
The maqsad, the idea behind that was, it was just like an awareness building project.
Okay.
Housing need in a country to be promoted to that country, so that the country's CSR and other high net worth individuals and the family foundations can join hands along with the government money or other kind of a thing. So it was a brand building, awareness building, advocacy project. Mr. Carter does it like every year.
Okay.
First in one country in the US, the next country, he used to travel all over the world. Now that was in 5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
100 houses.
100 houses in 5 days with the help of 3,000 volunteers.
Wow.
And these 3,000 volunteers come from, on an average, around 35 countries from around the world.
In a brief 2 line, how was this technically achieved?
So very good. Thank you. So everyone say that's a jadka we are giving. 5 days, 100 houses. You get the eyeballs and the eardrums.
Yeah.
You wanted to hear about that. But as you said, in 2...
or a little more.
Little more. So what we build those houses with the help of the designers, like the architects and the civil engineers and things like that. We designed that entire area into its cluster houses.
Okay.
So we worked behind the curtain for 1.5 years. So we build the houses like, these are built out there. We build the houses to certain level out there. So these volunteers who are coming are also unskilled laborers.
Okay.
So they get the opportunity to lay the brick, put the plaster, and then it goes up, supervised by a mason. And the mason is a CEO there. Imagine, a mason is a CEO. Even if I'm Jimmy Carter, if the mason says that, he puts that kind of a stuff, The mason says that this is not going on, he will put his arm out there, is gone. Even President Jimmy Carter has to look and listen to, yes, sir, what can I do? So the mason becomes a CEO there.
Wonderful exercise in humility. I read Japan has this culture which even the PMs follow. And also I'll connect this to pen pal. I think my sister had a pen pal from Japan.
Yeah.
But going back to Japan, had this culture which the PMs also follow is they once a week or once a month with their hands go and wash public bathrooms.
How?
Public toilets. Because if they can do that, they realize everybody is equal. That everybody's thoughts are equal, the shit is equal.
Their education system is the best in the world in terms of building that civic sense.
Yes.
The civic sense is out there. They started teaching them. Here, everything is going on that rote learning. A lot of rote learning is happening in India. Even when I was a student. But here, they teach you to cook. They teach you to clean. And they have to do, it's on a rotation basis, their own bathrooms, the toilets, or what we call toilets, or they call it comfort rooms, whatever you call it, at the end of the day, it is shit going there. Okay? That has to be cleaned. There is no shame on that.
Yeah.
Today, because that's something which we need to be looking in India, because you shit, someone else has to clean it up. And unfortunately, that could be the ayah or the maid or someone out there. It is supposed to be their job. In certain families, I've seen that. That's why behavioral change communication is also important in our custom out there. Earlier time it was there, but then we need to be bringing in India that, it is not the maid's job to, you got to be teaching that. Some families are doing that, but not, it depends on various intensities of the money speaks out there. I don't want to get...
But it did bring about a change in me. After listening to this story, and because we have to take a break, so I'll just connect things. It did bring about a change in me. अब मैं किसी भी public urinal, toilet, washroom से घबराता नहीं. I can go, even if it is dirty, मैं flush करूँगा, tissue इकट्ठे करूँगा, साफ करूँगा, हाथ धोऊँगा, use करूँ.
Just one word on that. I think I just wanted to bring that point. This country needs 2 very important cultures. One is the toilet culture. The next is the traffic culture.
Absolutely.
These 2 teach. And of course, the terror stuff we are taking care of. The tolerance was always there.
Always.
But of late, it is it's becoming politically instigated. Non-tolerance is coming
I think
for political purposes.
right wingism is a trend all over the world, and
That's
again we'll discuss. I think internet has contributed to that.
Yeah.
दोस्तों मिलेंगे ब्रेक के बाद
Thank you, sir.
सुनो अरे रुको क्या लेके आए थे क्या लेके जाओगे चिल ढूंढू मिलेंगे ब्रेक के बाद 2 मैसेज दिए अंकल ने क्या गाड़ी चलाना देख के और बहाना भी देख के ढूंढू चिल अरे रघुनंदन दास गोवर्धन दास वकावले ढूंढू चिल कोई और पॉडकास्ट नहीं मिला हाँ चूजर के नॉट बी बेगर अंकल बता के गए हैं गाड़ी ठीक से चलाना और ठीक से बहाना वेलकम टू अंकल एंड टू यू
Welcome to you, sir. Welcome to you.
अरे रघुनंदन दास गोवर्धन दास वकाले डोंट डू एक्शन
All the fun aside, sir, you've been working also with climate evangelism. Now, evangelism is a term associated with a particular religion, philosophy, and activism. Also, it also has a slightly negative connotation in terms of the oppressive nature of it.
Yeah.
But here, I'm sure it doesn't mean that. And you have spoken about carbon smart farming,
Yes.
something that I read about you. Please bring our attention to those things.
Thank you. The carbon smart farming came to me into my DNA from Philippines.
What is it exactly?
Okay. It's just like you reduce your carbon, footprints. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. for it.
Farming, how I want to understand.
In farming, it's like this all came and promoted through an organization known as COP,
Okay.
COP.
COP, yeah.
COP stands for Council of Parties.
Okay.
Actually, Council of Parties means the number of countries who are
Right,
signing into
together.
that. And it all started from the Kyoto Protocol
Yes.
in Japan.
Followed by the Paris.
The Parises came later.
Yeah.
That is what
The Kyoto was the first.
our master blaster Trump did not sign on that because of his reasons. He does not believe in carbon
Climate change, yeah.
It was promoted by none other than, and credit goes to none other than the vice president, the former vice president of US, Al Gore.
Oh, and that's another topic. But
That's,
continue.
yeah. So he started with this iconic video, the movie,
Yeah.
which talks about flooding of the world and things like that. So he actually has promoted, and the credit naturally has to go to him. The UN and others have took it up, and the COP has also got boosted with that. The Council of Parties has got boosted out there. What exactly the carbon footprint is that any action in this world, whether it is airline, railways, petroleum, a lot of industries which gives carbon to the atmosphere, which is affecting the stratosphere, which is affecting, puts holes into that. When a stratosphere is affected, because the infrared will come, and that will be, you will get skin diseases and stuff like that, because they say that penetration bomb. But it has to be sequestered. They were the use the sequestration. That means the amount of oxygen is getting depleted. So we need to be giving more oxygen to the air, the atmosphere. So in carbon smart farming is what the amount of the volume of rainforests are going down in the world.
Okay.
Because of the timber logging and all those kind of things like that. The rainforest, most of the rainforests in the world are today left out is in Amazon belt, in Brazil, then in African countries. Another good example of rainforest rich country is Indonesia. Whereas it comes to India and other kind of countries, it is going down. Or basically timber logging and things like that. On top of that, all the industrialization has made lots of carbon getting emitted to the atmosphere, which also affecting our, they call it CCA. Today, they started a movement known as CCA by the United Nations, UNEP. CCA meaning climate change adaptation.
Okay.
So climate change adaptation is the one which has brought the carbon bonds to the world, and then they call the carbon exchange. That means the more you produce oxygen to the atmosphere, you can take the credit out of it. Like, and the one who are producing carbon or emitting carbon to the atmosphere should also be penalized. So that's how this carbon market has come. There is carbon exchange market, which is one among the biggest carbon exchange market is in Saudi Arabia. You can trade. So now how does the trading happens out there? Okay, I'm Royal Shell. So I cannot produce oxygen. So, but I have to find an alternative for that. So how does that alternative come? You reduce the carbon emission to the world or you produce oxygen. So the carbon smart farming means you encourage the farmers to produce such, or you plant such kind of trees or agricultural, any kind of trees out there which will give more oxygen to the atmosphere.
Okay.
So that encouragement need to go. So what happens, one among the biggest company, all the carbon trade companies in India is based out of Indore. Indore. The biggest company is Enkins International. I think they changed their name to something, but they were known as Enkins. For Enkins, Royal Shell, who cannot produce oxygen in any way, they are emitters, and it's a utility, and it's a necessity. Without petrol, we cannot live in this world. That has become habit of us. Railway, which produces carbon, without railway we cannot live. So any kind of activities, it has to be sequestrated. So then it becomes a business opportunity out there.
So why I asked this particularly was, so forest and all I understand.
Yeah.
It says farming. So that's the choice of agricultural farming, food produce farming, or is it forest farming?
Both.
Both.
So if what I'm working now with a foundation known as Green Gauge Foundation, Green Gauge, okay? So we're working with the farmers in Yavatmal, in that particular belt of Yavatmal, what is the other states, the districts out there, Amravati and Nagpur.
Okay.
So in that belt, lots of orange farmers are there. So it is not an additional pain for them. It's not a pressure for them. While you're doing the orange farming, the international UNAP, the co-op and all, has identified orange can produce enough. So for which it's a double gain for the farmer. While I'm doing my regular kind of a thing, usko palan poshan karne ka, that means I will also get some money. I'm an orange farmer, so if I've got, if I'm really taking care of my orange farming, it also produces enough oxygen to that, for which I will get money from Royal Shell through Enkins.
Because we have lack of time, I will want to quickly get into a few other things. You said climate evangelism. Can you explain that? Is it just conscientious movement towards climate change? What is it?
It is designed like that, Amanji.
Okay.
But sometimes there is also a lot of people who take fayda out of that. I mean, वो भी कोई जुगाड़ होते हैं, नेगेटिव जुगाड़ होते हैं.
जैसे हर धर्म के फंड का अपना अपना यूज होता है.
बराबर.
क्लाइमेट फंड का भी अपना अपना यूज होता है.
There are also issues which has come up in Africa, in Latin America and other countries also. They will also, it is all paper tigers. No oxygen. In fact, actually the paper itself is a carbon producing industry itself. So they will write everything out there. It has come to the notice of the UN and other agencies which are giving certification to that. It is also another fraud kind of an activity. So one should know about that when we are looking into these kind of opportunities out there. If the farmers are getting their money and their, usko certification jo company dete hai, that has to be coordinated very well, and it has to be mandated. It should not be taken as a paper tiger. And it should not be taken as a fraudulent activity. And one must be aware of that. These kind of things are also there.
You mentioned Indonesia and Southeast Asia, Indonesia for tropical forests and all that.
Rainforest.
Rainforest. But a lot of Southeast Asia, Indonesia has gone into farmland, palm tree farming. Because of industrial use and
the palm oil,
commercial use.
Basically in Malaysia.
Large farms of palm.
Haji.
Is that good, bad, very briefly?
I cannot, I've not studied about that. I've not studied about that. but Malaysia was a country which was very rich in rubber plantation.
Hmm.
Because of the country was, it's very attuned for that. The climate was good. Every afternoon the rain comes,
Hmm.
so which is good for rubber plantation,
Like
But
in Kerala.
like in Kerala too. But they changed that rubber plantation for some reasons out there, because synthetic rubber was coming into the market,
Hmm.
the petroleum driven synthetic. But they changed, and they found out that this was the daldas of the world and things like that. They got into this oil palm.
And we don't know yet if they are positive on the
I have not
footprint.
come across that, so I would not be in a position to comment on that. Yeah.
And because you worked in this field, I want your quick reaction. While development is very important and we need to credit the current dispensation towards infrastructure development
Haan ji.
and all that, I want your quick take, objective take,
Haan.
not passionate take,
Mhm.
on the Great Nicobar project
Haan.
in terms of environmental impact it could have versus the development impact it would have. What is more important from a long-term view, according to you?
When you say the Great Nicobar, can you just specify?
So there is the government wants to bring Nicobar into the development scheme. They're
Yeah.
planning huge cities, airports, road infrastructure, bringing it into the consciousness of the mainstream. There is talk about, of course, everything has an agenda today in the news media. I don't know which to trust. They're talking about forest destruction, coral destruction that will happen. Can we afford that as a species? As a country, we're talking about the sentinel tribes' habitats will be
affected.
placed. The Jadawa tribes, I might be getting the name wrong. Are they under threat? The few indigenous hunter-gatherer tribes that are left. Unfortunately, city life sees them as not wise or primitive. But I think there is a lot of ancient wisdom in them in living in balance with nature.
Yeah.
Are we going to lose that